What's good, everybody? RJ Shelton here, back with another episode of BD Boys. On the screen, you see my good brother James Muenchow. How we doing, brother?
Well, brother, we're gonna give this whole new system recording deal another go. We're gonna record the video, and if it cuts out after 10 minutes, then it does. But if it does, then at least I got some things that
Bushy!
calm the nerves. So
I love it.
let's get after it here.
Let's get after it. Green Bay Packers, as we well know, they went ahead and beat the Dolphins 30-17. Jordan Love was 21 of 28 from the field, 270 yards, throwing 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs had 19 carries for 43 yards and 1 touchdown. Tucker Kraft had 6 receptions for 78 yards. Good game. Talk to me a little bit about this game from your lens. I already said my 2-piece earlier when I have my own little segments. So talk to me about this.
You couldn't have asked for a better first half. I mean, for both sides of the ball, obviously. The Dolphins looked very, 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 very cold and looking like they didn't want any part of playing this game in 27-degree weather. That was the narrative coming in, and by God, did it ever hold up? Because man, that's just from the get, they just were like, yeah, we don't want any part of this. And then obviously they got into a rhythm in the second half, but it's tough. You can't up 24-3 with that offense, with the Dolphins offense and how explosive they are. You can't play tight like you wanted to in the first half, because next thing you know, you give up a quick score, and you got time is your friend. So they played defense the second half where time was their friend, and it was annoying to watch them run the same play over and over and over again, play action over the middle. But again, you just want to keep everything in front of you, let them drain the clock, make it hard for them. Offensively, I mean, there's nothing really to complain about. Second half, yeah, you would have wanted them to put a little bit more of a dagger into them. But once again, your mindset changes at 24-3 to let's play a clean game. Let's not give them short fields, free turnovers. But you saw that with both offense and defense. Offense, don't give them a turnovers. Let's play a clean game. Defense, let's keep everything in front. Make them take some time to get down and score. First half offensively, we talked last week about how this is a run-heavy team. The Dolphins actually put up a pretty good fight on the defensive side of the ball to stop that run, but then because we were questioning what happens if Jordan Love needs to push down the field, well, you just saw it. It's going to work out. He pushed the ball down the field. It worked out. Jaden Reed came alive finally. Tucker Kraft has been doing what he's been doing. Christian Watson had a couple balls that he went up and got. So, it looked good. It looked like a really good offense, really good rhythm, to the point where second half, it was simple game plan. Defensively, you just bullied them, basically. I mean, that team, they wanted to get the run going with Achane. The defense basically just said, no, this is not happening. You're going to have to throw the ball. We know how Tua is in the cold. It's not very good, so we're going to stop the run, make you throw the ball. You could tell as I stated earlier, the offense was on the field quite a bit. Tua had to sit. I understand they got a bunch of heaters on the sideline. They got heated benches. They got the torpedo heaters. Apparently, they had scuba suits. I don't even know what kind of Superman's fucking suit they had on the sideline to keep them warm. It didn't matter. Tua was throwing balls over his head. He just did not look good. And so, again, defense did really well. And then they got put into some pressure moments, and they responded very well when that pressure moment came, especially that fourth and goal. I mean, it was very important on 2 downs before that. Rashawn Gary made a huge play to make 3rd and goal, and then you make another play for 4th and goal. And then tell you what, man, I hopped off this Quay Walker train 2 weeks ago, and for the past 2 weeks, he's been the best defensive player on the field. I don't know what's gotten into his head. Maybe again, he just said, you know what? I'm just going to send this motherfucker. Like, he's
Yeah.
done thinking. I'm just going to send it. And it's shown that he's one of the best on this defense of the past 2 weeks. Other than that, Lucas Van Ness got into the fray again. Rashawn Gary had some pressures, but it's just a solid performance in a game where we don't see this very often from Green Bay. They basically bullied them. Usually, Green Bay in the past has been the finesse team. Let's watch Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love run this very nice offense. And it's finesse. It's not very. It's a white collar, let's call it, where it looks pretty. That was we're more physical than you, and you don't want to be in this cold. I mean, the missed tackles on it alone basically told that story. But Green Bay basically said, "We're used to playing this game. You're not, and so we're just going to bully the shit out of you." And that they did. Good to see a couple of things that actually after the game I took away more. Was the post-game or not the press conference, I guess you could call it, post-game interview with NBC, where our dude Jordan Love finally got his damn turkey leg that they didn't give him last year. A couple things I took from that is they asked him, what does it mean to get your turkey leg that you didn't get last year, blah, blah. He didn't use me. He used we. And I think that he goes, we really wanted this turkey leg. Not I really wanted this turkey leg. We wanted this turkey leg. And then, those little things people don't catch. And I think that really speaks to he's not self-centered. It's a we and not me thing. I mean, the only me, there's no I in team, but for us in the media, I guess we could call ourselves media, there is a me, so we could talk about me. So there's no I in team for that guy. And Josh Jacobs, man, he just looks like, think about what that guy's been through. And same with Xavier McKinney. I mean, he wasn't on the post game, but Josh Jacobs just looks like he is having the time of his life after escaping that situation in Las Vegas.
Right.
There's that nothing out of their mouths. They always just talk about we, us as a team. Their success, their individual success, they put, this is the team doing that, not me. So those little things, man, are very, like, people miss that, and I caught it. It's just like, this team is a team. It's not how it used to be with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. Devontae got open. No, it's us as a team. We played well today. Our success because of the team. We win as a team, lose as a team. That mentality, man, I'm like, that locker room, when you have a locker room that close, that goes even farther when you have a talented roster. So it's not a team of individuals, it's a team of teams. So, it's crazy to think that Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney, this is the first time in their career that they're in winning seasons at this point of the season.
It's actually wild.
it's wild, and it's kind of upsetting. Like, damn, like, you guys are such great players.
Man.
It's crazy to think about for the Raiders. Like, the past couple of years, you would think the Raiders could be pretty good, at least be 500 or maybe a couple games over it. But the Giants, man, that team's a fucking dumpster fire. Like, oh my god, yeah, I look at that. So it doesn't surprise me that Xavier McKinney hasn't been over 500 in his career with that dumpster fire of a team. So, really good win. This team has won 7 out of their past 8.
Let's go. And
the only team they've lost to is who they're coming up against this Thursday. We're recording this on Tuesday. It's 2 days away. So it's back-to-back Thursday games, which is very interesting. But it's going to be this is a huge game coming up here on Thursday night.
Well, absolutely. We'll just roll right into it. Huge one. Backyard brawl, division. Take the records out of it. This is just a game that you got to have. You went ahead and lost at home. Went ahead and really got punched in the mouth. Didn't go ahead and really come out strong like you needed to. You played soft, in my opinion, that game. Now you have an opportunity to go ahead and knock this team off to be 11-2. Talk to me on the keys from the offensive side, what needs to happen, and on the defensive side, what needs to happen for this ball club for us to go ahead and be 10-3.
Offensively, the D line I think the interior D line for Detroit is pretty banged up. So the point of nitpick, here we go again, nitpicking. The team, the personnel, let's call it, that had the worst overall game last week was the offensive line. If you want to really nitpick and dive deep into it, the offensive line had their worst, or was the worst. So like Elton Jenkins, I think, played his worst game as a Packer. And then I think it was Josh Myers and Sean Runyon, or Josh Myers and one of the other offensive linemen. It's either Runyon or Rasheed Walker that had the other worst three out of the offense. I kind of did some reading and digging for the nerds that out there that watch the all 22s and rate every player. So the offensive line, 3 out of the 5 offensive line positions got the worst grades for the Miami game. So that's really worrying. But this defensive line for the Lions is pretty banged up. So I think the interior you're going to take advantage of. They obviously lost Aiden Hutchinson, which is, I mean, they have Zadarius Smith now, so you know where the pressure is going to come from. You got to run the ball. Wow, more great analysis from James. I think they're going to try to attack them with running the football, but we said that last year when they went into it, but they came out slinging the ball around. I think they're going to try to do exactly what they did last season at Thanksgiving against Detroit, which is get out to a fast start, get ahead, get the Lions playing from behind. Because, I mean, playing ahead, the Lions are just going to start running end arounds with their right tackle, end around passes with their right tackles. You know, they're going to start flaunting their shit because they let Ben Johnson. It's not even Dan Campbell. It's the attitude of Dan Campbell. But Ben Johnson has kind of gotten to that attitude, and he's just going to be like, I'm just going to write shit up. Like, we're going to just draw shit out of a hat, see what sticks. They're going to try to run. Detroit's going to try to run the ball on you with Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Jameson Williams is back for this game. He wasn't available for the first game. You got to stop the Sun God and Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got to make plays defensively. I mean, we talked about it week in, week out. Defense is all about making plays. Like, you don't have to be. You can be perfect. You can try to be perfect. In this league, that's like almost a damn near impossible thing to do. This isn't 2000. This isn't the early 2000s anymore, where if you have a really average offense, but your defense gives up 13 points a game, you're going to win a Super Bowl like the Ravens did. I mean, you're going to give up yards. You're going to give up some plays. I mean, the athletes on the field are just way too good. It's about making plays. Like last year in Detroit for Thanksgiving, can you get a strip sack? Can you get 2 strip sacks? Can you make a turnover? Can you get a stop on 4th down? Because they're aggressive. 4th and 4, anywhere inside of their midfield is a go. Like, it's an automatic go for Dan Campbell. Right. So can you make plays? Defensively, somebody's got to make a play. And, I mean, that's what this defense is about. Can Rashawn Gary get 3 sacks again, like last year? Can Lucas Van Ness make some contributions? Jair Alexander practiced every day this week. They're still evaluating him. They haven't said if he's going to play. The other one was Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs was limited all week. He is still in protocol. So that would be 2 big ones to get back. If Jair plays, that makes your defense that much stronger. Yes. Hopefully that knee's all right. I can see them holding him out because you got the mini bye. This game, I listened to AJ Dillon for a little bit on the radio. He talked about how, let's say if they win this game, this win means nothing. He basically said, you know what, this would be a really great win, but it doesn't mean nothing if you don't win in January. Because he's like, this team's probably going to the playoffs. So he's like, it's really cool that if you go in there and win, but this game doesn't mean anything until you go win in January. I agree with him, but at the same time, if Green Bay wins, Detroit's 11-1, Minnesota's 10-2, and Green Bay's 9-3. You drop Detroit to 11-2. Minnesota goes to potentially, God, I hope not, 11-2. because I don't even want y'all Viking fans get ready for another sad January because this team's fraudulent. All right, I said it. Come at me. Detroit or Green Bay still has another matchup with Minnesota. You split the series with Detroit. You split the series with Minnesota. Detroit plays Buffalo next week. That could be another drop. Next thing you know, they might be 11-3. Green Bay could be 11-3. Now we're starting to talk about more divisional. Then the nerds are really gonna come out of the woodwork. All right, what does Green Bay need to win to do this? What does Minnesota? This win right here for Green Bay could potentially, we got to pump the brakes on this one, could put them into the position to win the NFC North and potentially a first round bye. Potentially. I mean, the Eagles right now look stupid good. Like, ridiculous, like, scary good. Like, I'm like, like, if Green Bay they're going to the playoffs. If Green Bay is a wild card, please, God, hope that one of the division winners or Minnesota, let's say if it's, as it stands right now, Minnesota's 5, Green Bay 6, pray to God either division winner knocks off Minnesota or Green Bay wins either way, or Minnesota wins and Green Bay wins. I'd rather go to Detroit.
Absolutely.
I do not want.
I don't want to play the Eagles.
Not right now. It's scary. Like, that team looks like Saquon Barkley is, in my opinion, the MVP of the league. I don't care what none of y'all say. This motherfucker is looking like one of the best running backs, so like Chris Johnson type stats. Maybe not as heavily as Chris Johnson did. I had him on my fantasy team that year. That was a really good year. Just humble brag. He is looking like one of the best running backs we've seen since, Eric Dickerson, essentially, because
2000 and 2100 or whatever,
2104, I think it is.
Like that.
He is flirting with history. You got to give him his flowers if the boy is flirting with history. And so, again, if like this could potentially be the Eagles come to Lambeau, if like everything that you need to go your way goes your way. But again, if let's hypothetically say everything stands here, Green Bay wins, I want to go to Detroit. Yeah. If Green Bay wins, and let's say like if a 7 seed doesn't knock off the Eagles, because the Eagles will play and they play the lowest seed. If the 7 seed doesn't knock off the Eagles, then we're going to Detroit if we win our game. I'd rather go to Detroit. I don't care if we go 0-2 against Detroit. It's January, playoff football. Anything could happen. I do not want to go to Philadelphia with everything in my being right now, unless they start falling off the hill, which they do not look like they're falling off the hill. So just throwing that in there. But again, you win this game, the NFC North title becomes different. And basically the NFC North title, in my opinion, is probably the number 1 seed. Again, maybe not. Maybe the Eagles sneak up on this and take it home, which then in that case, yikes. Yeah, because good Lord, I do not want any part of that Eagles team. They look for real. So again, defense, tangent. There's one of RJ and James's famous tangents. Tangent. Back to the game. Defense has got to make plays. Edger and Cooper, it did not practice, which is a big thing, but Isaiah McDuffie played probably one of his best games as a Packer last week as well. Quay Walker's playing some of his best football, which is a good sign when your middle is playing. You need more from Kenny Clark and Devontae White. Like, hopefully they can clog up some running holes and stop that running game, because that's what that offense is also predicated on. Can they get Sonic and Knuckles going so then they could throw it over the top with play action to Jameson Williams and the Sun God? Offensively, I kind of like the attitude that Tucker Kraft came out with to set this tone. They got to set the tone on the field, but he's setting a tone right now. That man is a psycho. Bonafide psycho. Like, with it, when he's talking about going after safeties and it's two days before the game, sticking up not just for his teammate Bo Melton. He's talking about his brother tight ends, like as a whole. When you start defending other guys that aren't even on your team, but you're in your position, I'd be like, okay, I gotta have my defensive player. I'd be like, okay, I gotta have my head on a swivel when 85 coming around the corner because that guy is trying to crack me. So I like the tone he set. It's kind of a edge I haven't seen in a while in an offense in a while. Josh Jacobs, another psycho. Like he doesn't seem like it, but that dude is.
Both of them are crazy, bro.
I liked I think Andy Herman or Zach Cruz might be Cruz. Packers Twitter guys. Andy Herman does something I think is one of the beats for the Packers for one of the newspaper outlets. I think Zach Cruz is might be an independent guy, but if he isn't, they're both great. Like
shout out to them.
Give both of them a follow. Zach Cruz is like, this game against Miami is get your ball to the psychos because Miami don't want none of it, and that's essentially what Green Bay did. They got the ball to Tucker Kraft, psycho, try to hit that guy in 27-degree weather, and then they got the ball to Josh Jacobs. Oh, by the way, another psycho, try to hit him in 27-degree weather. So they're setting the tone, and I've never seen anyone who isn't named Jair Alexander start talking like that. So this game is so far might be the game of the season, but again, this is why we play the game. So exactly. Hopefully, I mean, when this game opened up on the line, it's dropped significantly. The line was 5.5 Green Bay. Green Bay was getting 5.5. I hopped on that bet so fucking fast. I mean, good Lord. And it's already down to 3.5 points. It's dropped 2 full points. If a line drops, here we go, betting talk with RJ and James. If a line drops 0.5 point in any direction, that's a big deal. That means a lot of money's coming in on one of the two sides. If it drops a full point, that's insane. Like, that's like, oh my God, this has dropped 2 points. That means the house is going, Jesus Christ, everything's on Green Bay. We need to do something to get people on Detroit. And they've dropped it to 2 full points. I wouldn't even be surprised if they dropped it another 0.5 point to make it a simple 3. Home teams get 3 points automatically. Like, that's how crazy this is. So they are thinking it's probably an even game at this point because of the 3.5. Well, and the money dropping. So, I mean, this is going to be a fun game. I would like to hope. This is championship football. I've heard Lip talk about it. The Lions play great championship football. Green Bay did not play the greatest football early, but then they've kind of started squeaking away games. Now they're starting to play, like, put teams away earlier. I mean, I understand the San Francisco game was a backup QB, but this Miami team, you can say what you want. I mean, Keyshawn Nixon didn't give San Francisco anything. Like, I don't care if he has a backup quarterback. Like, this is the league. Like, but now you did it against an offense that was flying around for the past 3 weeks. Championship football. They're starting to play a little bit more championship football. And the Lions, they might be a little pissed off because they should have at least gone to overtime against the Bears. I laugh at all of you Bear fans, but I was rooting for you. That was the absolute worst game management situation I think I've ever seen in my entire life. But I think people have talked that to a dead horse. That was just, I was sitting there just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I literally I was like, what is no? Okay. So again, championship football, this is a playoff atmosphere. Everyone knows it. I don't even know if I can even give a score to this game because I'm just fully on Green Bay. I'm a Green Bay Packer fan. The way they're playing right now, it's going to be hard for me to pick against them. So I'm not even going to pick because I'm just on Green Bay. Let's see, go Pack, go. So,
and that's all you need to do, brother.
Yeah,
that's all absolutely. It is. That's why we talk about
power of Busch Light. Exactly.
Well, that game is at 7:15 on Amazon Prime. Big time game. Got to go ahead and bring them bare knuckles out for this one because this one's definitely going to be a game where they're going to go and test your manhood. So
yeah, that one's at 7:15. This is going to be a man's game, as Ray Lewis famously said. This is a man's game.
We were rolling side to side. But
Yes,
no, that
sir.
was at 7:15. I can't wait for that one
Yeah,
on
that's gonna be good.
Thursday. Oh man, Badger football. We had said it on here that they might get dog walked, and it definitely happened. 24-7, 5-7. The streak of going to a bowl game is over. I don't need to get into any stats. I don't need to get into anything else. I've gave my 2 cents. I know your 2 cents, but I think that people need to hear again. Again, this is not good, but at the same time, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But what you got right now at the head coaching position, I think me and you can both say this: you're good.
Yeah.
Or if you change your mind, totally fine. But go ahead and talk to me about this.
Here's why it's not going to change. It's not going to change. Why? Let's get into the sporting aspect of this. One, this isn't Luke Fickell's team yet. This is absolutely entirely not Luke Fickell's team yet. This is the leftovers of the Paul Chryst era, and Paul Chryst was a horrible recruiter. And we're kind of seeing that at the end product. You have a lot of juniors and seniors, and they're not good enough. So that speaks to the previous hierarchy. They play with a backup quarterback all season. Now, I understand everyone's going to be like, well, this is college, James. Like, these guys, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Braden Locke, dude's trash. Probably a nice guy. Probably a great guy. Like, I mean, we probably could have a couple bushies together. But,
Right.
dude, you trash. Like, let's face it. Like, teams literally set up to stop Tawi Walker and then said throw it. If you throw it and you beat us, congratulations. Well done. You deserve it. Let's get out of here. That didn't happen a lot. Now, even with the backup quarterback, you took the number team 3 in the country to the brink. Well, not really, to like halfway through the fourth quarter. And then you took the number 1 team in the country to the wire. That, I think, holds volumes to where if we had a Tyler Van Dyke healthy playing, probably could, do something. Maybe win a game. Maybe upset Penn State or Oregon. Potentially that Alabama game goes your way. The USC game might go your way. You might be looking at 2 more wins at least against those really tough opponents. So looking at that, I say, okay, he deserves to stay. You haven't really given him much. He had a bad season and he's flipping guys from Michigan to Wisconsin. That is something else that needs to be spoken of. Is if this was bad, I mean, it is bad. Like, it doesn't look good. Then why is he still flipping 4-star kids from Michigan who just won a natty? Yeah, they didn't have a very good season. With all the Dave Portnoy money, that's just stupid. All that NIL money, why are they coming to Wisconsin? It's not because, I don't know, because Madison is like a top 5 like college town in the nation. Don't get me wrong, Madison's a fun place. We've both been there. We've both done some stuff, but they're not top 5 in the nation. They're definitely not winning. They're definitely not coming because they're in contention to win natties and Big Ten championships. Like, that's an obvious factor. Nobody likes the cold. Those guys could go down south and look at ass all year, like 85 and ass all season. They could do that. We've been 18 in college kids before. When it gets cold up here, bro, I mean, you got to bundle up. So
they say the tail is inside.
Yeah. So down there, it's out all the time. But they're coming to Wisconsin still, even after a 5-7 season where it doesn't look good. He has a freshman 4-star recruit and quarterback sitting on the bench. Hopefully that kid steps up. He just recruited another 4-star QB. Now he has a 4-star pass rusher. The portal is going to open. Portal's coming. Unfortunately, 3 guys from Wisconsin have left. You don't want to be here, leave. I feel like Luke Fickell. Last year it was different. I feel like Luke Fickell doesn't chase many guys. Last year it was Braylon Allen who was like, I might leave, and I think him and Luke Fickell just had an amazing relationship, and he convinced him to stay. And now Braylon Allen's doing very well in the NFL. But the portal's going to open. Wisconsin will make moves because they know you have to make moves. You can't just do what you did for the past, before these past 2 years, for the past 3 or 4 years with Paul Chris, where they literally almost did nothing. They just thought it was like the Barry Alvarez era where
Bless you.
oh boy, where Barry could just get these blue chip Wisconsin kids to just, come on, I'm Barry Alvarez, Wisconsin, come on, okay, sounds good, coach. And also, Luke Fickell is in a very, very difficult coaching era, because not only does he have to recruit incoming people, he has to recruit in-house people to not leave as well. Right. So, I mean, Luke Fickell has a really tough job of rebuilding this program. Again, the Big Ten just got bigger. People in the Midwest now are going to be like, well, I can go play out West and still come back home and play in the Midwest. You know, and Ohio State's getting weaker. Like, they're 7th in the country, but man, they don't look good. Ohio State's getting weaker. Michigan is weak. Oregon, yes, Oregon's a blue chip team where all the guys who run 4.2 are gonna go there with the fancy uniforms and the 1,000 different combinations. People are gonna try to go to USC, but USC ain't the nicest place in the world. I've heard that's a really dangerous campus. You know, there's nowhere really in the Big Ten. I mean, Penn State's just winning right now. People might just go to Penn State because they just want to win. But like the Big Ten right now, man, like Washington isn't even that good anymore. It's wide open, in my opinion. You could do some damage. And I think you have a headlining coach that can bring you there. Again, next year, it might not be pretty either. Like, don't get me wrong. I've never said that next year it's going to be 10-2. It's not going to be that. You go to Alabama. Go to Alabama. They're not here. Like, they're not coming here. You got to go to Tuscaloosa. Good luck to you there. Not many teams go there, or go there and win, even without Saban. And then you got to go to Oregon. You got to go, probably USC is going to come here. Hopefully you get them later in the year where it's cold, because those Cali boys don't like it here. You probably play Penn State in College Station, or it's not College Stadium. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. One of the toughest places to play in all of college football. You played there. You understand it. So you have to play probably Ohio State, maybe. Like, you do not have an easy schedule ever again in the Big Ten.
Beaver Stadium for Penn State. Beaver Stadium, I think. Yeah, I think so.
What?
Yeah, Beaver Stadium.
Okay. Hey, this is why I have Busch Light.
Beaver Stadium.
And they're the Nittany Lions. Okay. You learn something new every day. But yeah, it's not going to be ever an easy schedule, but I think Wisconsin has just as good as a chance as anybody else in this recruiting situation to make it better. Now, as Luke Fickell, you're not on the hot seat yet, but it's like being thought about. Like, it's like, okay, he's not going to leave either because of the economics. Wisconsin just can't buy him out, and then bring in a new coach after 2 years. They're not going to do it. You got to let this thing run its course. You got to give him at least 4 years. If in year 4, about halfway through, it's still not working, it still doesn't look good, and it's not turning around, and you still haven't had a winning season, now we have conversations like, okay, maybe this isn't the best fit. Happens to everybody. But Luke Fickell needs to hit a home run on his next offensive coordinator. It's really important. He's got to bring in someone he's worked with before and he trusts. I don't care if that's the guy he had at Cincinnati or the guy that just got fired from FAU that was the offensive coordinator when he was the defensive coordinator at Ohio State. I don't care. It better be somebody you know and you trust, because that Phil Luongo thing, when that came out where he's never worked with him before. Huh? Really? Never? Like, never talked? Never had a cup of coffee? No? Oh, okay. And, Luke wants to run this modern college football offense, spread it out, kind of throw it around, I guess. But then he found out real quick that throwing the ball 70% of the time, how Phil Luongo wanted, just ain't going to work. Like, it's just not going to work with this Wisconsin offense. I think a more traditional style offense would work with them because I think they do have guys that can be in that role, run the play action pass, throw it over the top. I don't care if it's from the pistol, but you got to start traditionalizing it a little bit and get back to the roots of what was Wisconsin football, because you're not going to get the Oregon athletes. You're not going to get the Ohio State athletes, even though it's down. You're not going to get the SEC athletes. You're going to get the Midwest athletes who, not to say anything bad, they're really good, but they're not blue chip, let's call them. I mean, you got a blue chip guy. The blue chips are going where the winners are. And right now, you're not a winner. You got to turn it around. So you got to do it the blue collar way, do it the Wisconsin football way, get the bullies out, get the big farm kids in there, just bully these former Pac-12 teams around, and maybe get some winners. Then you can start integrating the speed and get some people there and maybe make a college football playoff. It's possible. Anything is possible now with 12 teams. And I think the college football landscape right now is very, very interesting with the 12-team playoff. So, again, anything can happen, but you got to hit the home run on the offensive coordinator, and then you just keep doing what you're doing with recruiting. Try to keep some guys in-house, but the team's going to be younger next year. Like, your offensive line is going to be younger, which is usually never good, but if you coach them up well, maybe it doesn't. This is why you play the lollipop teams in the beginning of the year, see what everybody has. But you got to have a good transfer portal. You got to have good recruits. And then you got to hit a home run on the offensive coordinator.
Absolutely. I'm right with you on that 1,000%. Get active in that portal. Get active in that recruiting.
Show them the money.
In that coaching, man. You got to lay it on the line, because if you don't, it's going to be downhill fast.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
Last but not least here, before we get into Jim Bob Cooter picks of the weekend.
I think I did pretty well. I did pretty well last week.
I think you did pretty well last week.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee Bucks, 5th in the Eastern Conference. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Talk to me right now on your thoughts about them. They got a big week this week for games, but hey, I think we figured it out. Doc's figured it out.
Yep. I think we've been saying it for the past couple of weeks. It's, again, your talent's going to take you. You've tinkered with some things. AJ Green, Andrew Jackson Jr. You've relied on your youth. Your youth, the youth movement has helped this team. I think the only thing we really need to talk about is how bullshit it is on how this league continues to try to erase Giannis Antetokounmpo off the face of this earth.
It's embarrassing, to be honest.
If he was in LA doing what he's doing right now, or New York, or Golden State, he'd be front-running MVP, running away with it in December 3rd. This man leads the league in points with 17 games played, by the way. I don't know how many games they've played so far. I think 22.
Yeah.
He has more assists than SGA. And he is 5th in rebounding in the league. Oh, but he's not the player of the month for November. That was Jason Tatum and SGA. Like, you fucking kidding me right now? It's as you said, frankly, embarrassing and bullshit. And so this team still hasn't. With them playing well, I think that's just going to slow their process down to get Chris Middleton back on the floor, which is fine. You want him healthy in April and May. You don't really care if he's not healthy right now. I don't know if there's anything the Bucks can do trade-wise where people are going to really take a bite out of it. You could maybe try to move Bobby Portis or Pat Connaughton. I mean, the NBA's done some crazy-ass trades with 4 teams. I mean, I don't mind Brook Lopez being on the floor if he's rested. If he's not a 35-minute a night guy, that's where Giannis comes in playing the backup 5. He needs to do that more if he wants Brook healthier. Like, Giannis is still really young. He could still take that punishment. He's still one of the he is the most dominant player in the league. He can play the 5. You have guys on the perimeter. Let AJ Green and Andrew Jackson Jr. defend. Let even Bobby Portis get out there. Dame Lillard, let him try. But you can play the 5. I mean, keep Brook healthy, I guess. And we've seen some games where all of a sudden having Brook's big ass down there in the post really helps. He's a great rim protector still. He still grabs rebounds. He still shoots 3. I wouldn't mind seeing him go because, again, that contract of his is just horrible.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what team's going to take that. Maybe you take half of it and another team will take half. I'm not sure. I don't think he's movable. I think it's Bobby Portis and Pat Connaughton, even though Pat Connaughton is basically worthless now. So I only see Bobby Portis as the person you move, and I think you can live without him. I mean, Torrent Prince right now is playing a lot better with his minutes being pulled back. I mean, he can be a starting 5 guy, but now with the emergence of AJ Green and Andrew Jackson Jr. playing better and contributing more, you've seen him play better through that.
Right.
Where when those guys weren't playing well, he was not good at all. Like, he's supposed to be your defensive guy, but he also is a 50% 3-point shooter. I think I just saw that. I think he's shooting like 50% from 3-point. It's not like he's taking 8 shots a game, but if he takes 2 shots a night, he's making at least 1, or if he's taking 4, he's making 2. I'll take that every goddamn night. So he's more of a role player. I mean, again, you still have the buyout market too. I mean, every team will buy somebody out. I think Milwaukee with Dame and Giannis, if they're playing well, people are gonna be like, "Well, I'm gonna go there." I mean, you've seen him. There's some. Oh boy, I can't believe I'm about to say this. There's some whispers that PJ Tucker might get bought out by the Clippers. I don't really care what you say. I don't. Would I mind PJ Tucker on the Bucks? No, not at all. But he's not a D3 guy like he used to be. He's a D guy.
Not even that. I mean, he could be. I mean, hey, he's won us a championship, so I'm not gonna hate on the brother.
I'm not gonna dog him.
But it's that the age and going up and down that court for at least a half in a crucial game. I don't know about that.
He wouldn't be able to do what he did in the championship here, which is, hey, there's the best scorer. Go get him.
Right.
Just go get him. He's not going to do that anymore. He's going to bring a different mentality to the team. Like, he's a leader, and guys respond to him. I mean, they will respond to him because, I mean, he's won a championship and he's been there. He's going to make people around him, but he's going to push guys. I think he's really good to push guys, but I don't know where it stands right now with the buyout market. It's only December. Usually that doesn't happen until March, February. But we'll see on the Bucks. But they are playing better. Let's just thank God for that, because we were talking about firing Doc 12 games in. Well, and again, Doc Rivers, really good regular season coach. When it gets to the playoffs, we'll see. Hopefully he sticks with the youth, because that was his Achilles heel. Coaching. He didn't like youth guys. He liked vets. He wanted more veteran guys. So we'll see. But right now they're playing well, and you can't say anything bad about it. I predicted they'd be 5th in the Eastern Conference at the end of the season, just, again, on talent alone. But if they keep playing good ball like this, it looks better team-wise, like it really does. Then maybe they sneak into a 3 spot, maybe a 2. I don't think there'll be 1. If they get 2, I think that's their peak. I think 2 is their absolute peak. I think 3 is their comfortable. We can be a 3 seed. But I think 4 or 5 is probably where they're going to end up at the end of the season, barring any, again, here we go again, injuries.
Absolutely. So, just keep hitting shots, and those role players got to play to the ultimate heights for us to get where we need to get to. All righty, man. You ready? The people love this, man. The people loved it last weekend.
Did you keep track of what I did
No, I didn't. I was bullshit.
Right. I'll keep track this week because I was hot last week. I was hot.
Well,
I
let's see
mean,
what you can do for these people.
you saw what I did last week. I sent it to you. Jimmer was hot last week. So let's
Love
do it.
that.
Let's get after it.
All right, bro. Let's get after it here. Jets and the Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins get 6.5.
Are they at home?
They are at home.
Dolphins.
You got the Falcons versus the Vikings. Kirk Cousins is coming home. Minneapolis is getting 5.5.
I just don't believe in Atlanta. Like on paper, they should be a great team.
He threw 4 interceptions last weekend.
Like I'm just like, what is it? So I'm going. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to go Minnesota.
Saints versus Giants. New Orleans get 5 on the head, and they are on the road heading to New York.
This is an interesting one. As bad as I just can't ever trust. Now, don't get me wrong. My lock got a run for its money last week with the Giants at Dallas. Like it was 5.5, or I think 3.5. That was my lock. I was a little nervous. I was like, why is this not a blowout? What the hell is going on? But it did prevail. So you're welcome for that. Saints played a pretty good game against the Rams last week. It was at home, though. New York is getting cold. Oh, this is so tough. 5.5. If it was anything below 5, I'd probably. I can't trust the cut. I can't trust the cut. You know, the cut. Tony Cutlets. So I can't take it. I'm gonna go Saints. I'm all favorites right now. It kind of seems stupid. What was it? 5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't trust the Cutlets. So.
And then
Yeah,
we got
I'm taking Saints.
you think Saints? Sweet.
Yeah.
Panthers versus the Eagles. Eagles are getting 12.5 at home.
Oh my god. This is tough too because the Panthers have been playing really well.
That's what I'm saying. That 12.5 is like they want
That's
you to
a
go ahead and put
lot.
money on that.
And you know what? I think I got. Are they in Philadelphia?
They're in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I gotta take the 12. I'm all favorites right now. I don't like it, but dude, they're for real, and I understand the Panthers have been playing very well. The Eagles are just. I think they're the best as of right now. I think they're the best team in football. And I said the Lions the whole season, but it's just really hard to go away from it. So I'll take the 12.5. Lots of room for that backdoor cover from, but in Philadelphia, I got to take the Eagles.
Browns versus Steelers. The Steelers are getting 6.5. They are at home, which is crazy for 6.5 against the Browns. They must be looking at what they did Monday night.
I'm taking the Browns on that. I mean,
yeah.
Jameis is either going to throw 4 tutties or he's going to throw 4 interceptions. He threw bad interceptions last week. I'm taking the Browns, man. That's 6.5.
Yep. 6.5.
Take the Browns.
Sounds good. Raiders and Buccaneers. Buccaneers are getting 6.5. They are at home. The Buccaneers.
They didn't look too good last week. I mean, that Irving kid had a really good game last week. I'm going to take the Raiders.
I was going to take the Raiders too on that because their quarterback, he plays a good game. Like he doesn't beat himself, and that's a big thing in the league.
Mayfield is banged up, and he doesn't have much help. I'm going to take the Raiders. Give me the Raiders.
This one here, Jags versus the Tennessee Titans. Titans are getting 3.5 at home.
And I think Trevor Lawrence is probably going to be out. Titans are at home.
Titans are at home.
I like the home team. And that's 3.5.
3.5. Then you got the Seahawks versus the Cardinals. It is in Arizona. The Cardinals are getting 2.5. And that's a division game. Yes, that's a division game too.
Cardinals didn't play well offensively last week. God, I was so mad. Played a pretty good defensive game for the most part. Seattle struggled against the Jets. I'm going to take Arizona. I like the home team in this one. I think Arizona showed out better on the road against Minnesota, better than what Seahawks did against the Jets at home. So I'm going to take Arizona on that one. I mean, it may very well be a field goal game. So I think I think I'm going to go Arizona because they're at home. If it was flip-flopped, if Seattle was at home and it was 2.5, I'd probably take Seattle. But so this is a pretty close matchup, I think, so I'll take the home team.
That's real. Bills versus Rams. This
Oh,
one is
boy.
in LA, and the Bills are getting 4.5. They think this is going to be a game, huh, brother?
Yeah. I mean, Josh Allen, bro, Bills. I
That's
mean,
another
again,
team too. They look good. Bills look
they
real
look good even in the snow. That was a great game. I love snow games. See,
That first off topic. That play that's
some backyard bullshit.
that was the most incredible thing
schoolyard
I've ever
bullshit.
seen.
That was literally
Ever.
the movie Longest Yard, where they said, "Let's run schoolyard bullshit."
Man,
That's it. So
how aware of Cooper to think of that and just throws it back.
yeah, like here you go. Thanks,
Here you go,
appreciate
brother.
you.
That was
Which is
incredible.
bullshit because I faced Josh Allen in fantasy. I don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna take the Bills. I mean, the Rams looked good against the Saints, but I think the Bills are just playing some really, really good football, and Josh Allen is having I think, one of his best years as a Bill. I mean, earlier in the year, people were talking about how many interceptions he threw, and I mean, maybe that was last year too. Like, people are starting to doubt him, and I think he's definitely been like, yeah, guys, let's just chill out here. So
Right.
take the Bills. I like them 4.5. If it was 6.5, maybe in that 7 range, I'd probably take the Rams at home because I think that would be potential for backdoor cover. 4.5, not enough for me. I think it would be more than 4.5.
Gotcha. Bears versus 49ers. This one's in San Francisco. The 49ers getting 4 on the head.
Bears. I think they're going to get that new coach bounce. They've been playing some really good football lately. The 49ers are just banged up. It's in San Francisco. I think that team is starting to realize. And here's another off-topic question or thing. It would be damn stupid of the 49ers, putting my bet in here, it'd be damn stupid of the 49ers to fire Kyle Shanahan. Like,
They better not do that.
Because guess where he's going. Like I said it earlier today. If they fire Shanahan, first of all, that's the dumbest thing they've ever done. Why? He's the best offensive. I think he is the best offensive coach in football. Like, just flat out. You saw what he did with average quarterback talent, and he has never had a good one. I don't care what y'all say about Jimmy G. He's average. Brock Purdy is Mr. Irrelevant. Is he better than Mr. Irrelevant? Sure. He give him his flowers. He took them to a Super Bowl. You give him he's going to Chicago. Like if he gets fired, pray to God. Here we go again. And one more before the show cuts out. If he gets fired, he's gonna be like, that's fine. I'm gonna have a job the next day. Like,
it's the only guy that's probably in the league.
It might even
go
be
wherever.
Oh, yeah, I just got fired. How did you know? Like, it happened like 5 minutes. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, lots of money. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, I'll see you in about 2 hours. I gotta pack. Oh, I'm already packed. How'd you 5 minutes, man? Oh, okay. All right, I'll see you later. Goodbye. That's how fast it's gonna be when Chicago gets wind that Kyle Shanahan just got fired. I do not want that. And again, I do not like the Bears. I don't like giving them any flowers. But Caleb Williams is a talent. There's no denying it. DeAndre Swift has proven he's a decent running back. Keenan Allen on that team with DJ Moore, and then Rome. Kyle Shanahan, and then I guarantee Kyle Shanahan's going to rebuild that offensive line in the draft because that defense is, again, I've said that defense is really good in Chicago. If he goes to Chicago, immediate contender.
Absolutely.
So that is the best offensive mind in football, in my opinion. I think it's a top 3 at least. If you don't agree with me, you better have him in your top 3. Because, again, we could have 3 coaches coaching the same damn offense in one goddamn conference with Kevin O'Connell, Matt LaFleur, and Kyle Shanahan. And so I goddamn hope that he doesn't get fired. And if they do, the 49ers are going to fall so quickly, it's not even going to be funny. Like, they are going to go back into purgatory again. So yeah, if they fire Shanahan, that'll be the dumbest thing. The dude has had so many injuries. He hasn't had his all-star running back. He lost his quarterback for a couple seasons. Trent Williams has had the season from hell with injuries, and now the unfortunate news about his child. Prayers up to him.
Absolutely.
Nick Bosa has been hurt. Dude, this has been a season from hell from the 49ers, and they're thinking about firing him? Y'all need to, please don't do that. Like, please, because again, we know where he's going to go. I think he's not going to choose. He's not going to go to New York Jets. Like, he ain't going there. He ain't going to go to the New York Giants. He's going to go where there's players. And there's players in Chicago. And he's going to choose there. He doesn't even care if the Giants back up the Brinks truck for him. Or, not just one Brinks truck. Probably 10. If they back up 10 and Chicago's like, well, I got like 1 or 2, he's going to be like, that's good enough. So if San Francisco fires Kyle Shanahan, that'll be the dumbest thing they've ever done. And that would be a very, very bad thing for the NFC North. So just wanted to throw that one out there.
And then last but not least here, the Chargers face the Chiefs. The Chiefs get 4.5 at home.
Bro, I'm sick and tired of watching the Kansas City Chiefs weasel their goddamn way out of every single game. Chargers plus the 4.5. I'm sick of the league pampering this team. I hope Buffalo, I hope they eventually start losing some of these games down the stretch, and then they have to go to Buffalo. Again, this team might just be like, hey, it's playoffs. I'm just going to turn it on, guys. We're the best team ever again. It's going to be unbearable. And it's already unbearable. And so I want the Chargers to please help us. J.K. Dobbins is out, which sucks. Because he's had some injury bugs for the past, I can't even call them bugs. That dude's had some bad knee issues.
Yeah.
You feel for him, but he finally had came back, been healthy, had a really good season. Still not out like for the rest of the season, but he's been out for this game. I'm still taking the Chargers plus 4.5 because the Chiefs they gotta lose. They gotta lose or it's gonna be close. So I'm just sick of this. I'm sick of watching it. I'm sick of hearing about it. They're the worst 11-1 team, 12-1 team. I don't give a fuck. Whatever they are. They're the worst team to ever have that record in the history of football. So yeah, I'm taking Chargers.
And that's a primetime game, so get ready for it.
Gross. Is it in LA?
No, it's not. It's in Kansas City.
That's
even worse. I'm sick of seeing them. I'm sick of seeing Kansas City Chiefs on primetime.
Yeah,
Pick somebody else, man.
I'm sick. I'm just sick of them in general. So hopefully the Bills keep up this run and they go into Arrowhead because it's going to be in Kansas City. Dude, the Golden Goose is in Kansas City. The NFL's Golden Goose is there. They're not going to be like, oh, hey, you got to go to Buffalo again. No, they're going to be like, you're going to just stay home. Like, we got you. Don't worry. It's just going to be bullshit. They're going to get the worst ref crews in like the worst rated ref crews are going to get their games because they throw so many flags and they miss so many calls. And the Chiefs are going to benefit from all of that because why not? And then they're going to go to the AFC title game against Buffalo, and it's good. I'm going to want to rip my hair out. I might want to rip my hair out in general if Green Bay's not in it, still in contention at that point in time. Might be hurting. So either way, dude, this is just stupid. I'm just so over the Kansas City Chiefs, bro. So please just lose. Travis Kelce's probably going to be done after this year. He's washed. He's just going to follow Taylor around. And then they're going to have to do some other shit. But they're not they're a good football team, but they're not the Kansas City Chiefs of old. So, God, please make it stop.
No, I hear you. Well, with that is the good old Jim Bob Cooter picks for spreads for the NFL. Mm-hmm. All you wonderful people, you guys have a great week. Jim Ritz appreciation for you always to get on. You guys have a wonderful week. Have a great weekend. Peace out.
Be safe.